Alright, so before I answer this commenter's question, I would like to shout him out real quick. This person's name is Uptown Zeno, and he's been following me literally for the past 2 years. So I want to give him a special shout out because he has been rocking with me back when I was on anime TikTok and making anime content. And even when I switched over to making film content and comic book content, he's been following me the whole time. So to Uptown Zeno, thank you so much for the support you have been giving me. It really means the world to me. And even when I switched up my content like every 6 months, you still stuck by my side. So to that, I really do appreciate that. Y'all know I love my followers to death, so I always like to repay my followers for supporting me by letting them know that I see them and I acknowledge them and I love them and I thank them. So let's get right into his comment. He says, "Hey Nemo, I have a question. I love Fire Force and I finished the manga, but I'm confused about how Adolla works and how doppelgangers work." So with that being said, my name is Nemo. I am the CEO and expert on all things Fire Force here on this app, and welcome to Fire Force Explained. Oh my god, I haven't said that intro in so long, it feels so weird. But anyway, let's get right into it. Now, in order to understand Adolla, you have to break it up into 3 categories. Now, the first category is Adolla, which is the realm itself. Now, Adolla itself is actually really interesting because technically, in a way, it's not heaven or hell. It's its own separate dimension. And this realm is actually the environmental personification of the collective consciousness of humanity. And that's it. It's actually really simple. That's what Adolla is. Now, the 2 subcategories that derive from Adolla are Adolla Burst and Adolla Link. Now, in simple terms, Adolla Burst is actually the powers you get when you link with Adolla, hence the term Adolla Link. So if you encounter the Evangelist or any dimensional being from Adolla and you link with Adolla, therefore you will get the Adolla Burst. But here's where things get tricky because the Adolla Burst could lead you to one of 2 things. Now, if you have the Adolla Burst, the first outcome, you could become an Infernal. Now, the first thing that may or may not happen to you is that you become a first-generation pyrokinetic. And first-generation pyrokinetics are basically just Infernals. And if you want to know what Infernals are, they're basically just like fire demon zombies. And trust me, you don't want to become one of these things. And option number 2, you could become a 2nd or 3rd generation pyrokinetic, aka just somebody with superpowers. Like my boy Shinra Kusakabe right here. Now, some people use their pyrokinetic powers for good, but there are other people who like to use their powers for evil. So that is what Adolla is. Adolla is the realm and the world of the collective consciousness of all of humanity. And if you link with that world, it's called the Adolla Link. And if you become an Infernal or a pyrokinetic user, therefore you have the Adolla Burst. And you could only get Adolla Burst through the Adolla Link. So hopefully that helped, and let's talk about doppelgangers. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm right there with you about being confused about doppelgangers because I don't know where they come from. So I'm going to explain it to you the best way I understand it. Now, doppelgangers in Fire Force are very interesting to me because in a way, they're technically Infernals, but not really. But before that confuses you, let me explain it first. So a second ago, I told you that Infernals are basically fire demon zombies. Where do they come from? They come from spontaneous human combustion. And that seems so easy to understand, but when people ask themselves, why or how does human spontaneous combustion happen to begin with? Now, here's where I might blow your mind and blow other people's mind when I say this. Because in the world of Adolla, every single person has a doppelganger. And spontaneous human combustion happens when somebody's doppelganger counterpart tries to merge with their in real life human part. Now, I know that was like a lot of information I just thrown at you, so hopefully you get it. So even when I was making anime content, a lot of my friends were asking, okay, so if that's how doppelgangers become Infernals, how come they were able to walk around and actually fight their human counterparts? Like, for example, like you see in the picture behind me, Benimaru is fighting his own doppelganger. Now, the reason why that happened is because, spoiler warning for the manga, for anybody who hasn't read it, there are 8 pillars that make up Adolla. And if you collect all 8 pillars, you open the doors of Adolla to the actual real world. And because the doors of Adolla were open, a lot of these doppelgangers were able to roam around Earth without having to cause spontaneous human combustion. Now, thank you so much for this question. It was really fun to talk about Fire Force again because it's been a really, really long time and I actually do miss it. But save the video if you want, rewatch the video if you'd like, and hopefully I helped with understanding the world of Adolla and doppelgangers. So with that being said, Captain Nemo of Company Zero is out. I'll see y'all later.